You're scrolling online, maybe Twitter, maybe somewhere else, and boom, a video. Looks like it's filmed right inside a military operation. Soldiers, and they seem, well, pretty unhappy about their food situation.
Yeah, and this wasn't just some isolated rumor. It blew up, went viral pretty fast, and got immediate, top-level attention from the Nigerian army.
Exactly. So today, that's our deep dive. We're looking at this incident, the video, the Army's reaction, but more than that, what it tells us about, military welfare, how they communicate, especially now with everything being so digital. We're pulling from reports across Leadership News, Daily Post, Sahara Reporters, PR Nigeria, all from late July 2025.
And what's really striking, I think, is just how fast this internal issue, once it hit the public domain, forced a response, a very high-level response. It really shows how these disciplined organizations, they now have to deal with, digital transparency.
Okay, so the Army did react fast. But let's back up a sec. What exactly was in this video? What were people seeing that made it spread so quickly?
Sure. So the reports say it showed soldiers holding up food items. The implication was pretty clear they weren't happy with it. Quality, quantity, maybe both. And crucially, this wasn't like an official press release or anything. It felt raw, unscripted. It hit social media first, then the mainstream news picked it up. That sequence is important.
Right, that bottom-up spread. And that must be why the official reaction was so swift. What was the very first step from Army leadership?
Well, the Chief of Army Staff himself, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, we're talking to the top commander, he ordered an investigation. And the language used was thorough and detailed. So not just a quick look. They signaled they were taking it seriously right from the start.
Okay, top boss orders a probe, and then the PR machinery kicks in. What did the Army spokesperson say?
Yeah, the acting director of Army Public Relations, LT Col Apollonia NL, put out a statement. She basically acknowledged how serious it was, said they were, checking the video's authenticity, the context, all that. But the key thing, I think, was the promise to make the findings public. She used the words transparency and accountability.
Transparency and accountability. That's a strong commitment, especially given the context.
It is. It suggests they understand the need to manage the narrative, not just internally, but for the public watching online, rebuilding trust, perhaps.
So you have this public pledge. How does this whole incident, this viral video and the response, how does it stack up against the COA as his own command philosophy? He talks a lot about soldier welfare, right?
It puts it right to the test, doesn't it? His stated philosophy is very clear that troops' welfare remains his topmost priority. When something like this goes public, it forces the issue. It makes that commitment very visible, very accountable in the digital space. It's not just an internal memo anymore.
And there's even a specific initiative tied to this, isn't there? Something called Soldier First. Sounds quite forward-thinking. What does that actually involve?
Yes, Soldier First. The sources describe it as putting the welfare of family members, well-being, dignity, and operational readiness of soldiers at the core of all Army policies and actions.
Wow. That's broad, covering family members too.
It is broad. It's a holistic vision. But, the challenge is always implementation, making sure that high-level philosophy actually translates into the day-to-day experience of every soldier. That takes real systemic effort.
Which brings us to the core tension here. The Army says welfare is key, encourages feedback maybe, but then this video goes viral, bypassing official channels. What did the COAS say about how soldiers should voice concerns?
Right. He addressed that directly. He encouraged personnel to use the established and appropriate military channels for complaints. Standard procedure, really. But he also issued a pretty stern warning against using unauthorized platforms, especially for operational matters. Called it a breach of military ethics and discipline.
Okay, so there's the line. Use our channels, don't go public on TikTok or whatever.
Exactly. And this really highlights that dilemma for you, the listener, to think about how does a very hierarchical, disciplined organization like the military handle this? They need order, but social media offers this instant, unauthorized megaphone.
So acknowledging the problem, investigating it, promising transparency, but also drawing that line on discipline. How did they wrap up their public statements on this?
They basically doubled down on their core commitments. Reaffirmed upholding the highest standards of leadership accountability, troops' welfare, and institutional integrity. And they linked soldier well-being directly to their success, saying it remains central to our ongoing transformation efforts and operational success.
So the message is, this is serious, we're looking into it, but our fundamental principles and the importance of discipline haven't changed. Welfare is part of effectiveness.
Precisely. It's an attempt to balance acknowledging the specific grievance with reinforcing the broader institutional framework.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what does it really mean for you listening? We've seen this real tension play out. On one side, a military saying, our people come first, even launching things like Soldier First. Mm-hmm. On the other, this incident where soldiers felt they had to go public and the army saying, whoa, use the proper channels. How do big organizations, especially ones built on discipline, deal with this when internal issues just explode onto the public stage like this?
Yeah, and if you zoom out, think bigger picture. It really forces that difficult question about balance. How do you maintain necessary military ethics, discipline, order, which are crucial for operations, while also making sure the people serving feel heard, feel their welfare is genuinely protected? Particularly when, a single phone video can change the entire conversation overnight. Getting that balance right, well, that's got huge implications for trust, for morale, maybe even for recruiting down the line. It's something to really mull over.